like
This
that.
is your man.
Yes,
Look at the screen.
that's mine. And,
And,
and
that,
I'm
and,
going to
that's,
stick
and, that's,
beside him.
and that's what you're going to settle for.
I'm going to stick beside him.
Hello everyone, I'm Lynn. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about why pretty, beautiful girls get stuck in relationships that do not serve them. This is a long title, so I'm going to find a way to shorten it. Maybe say pretty girls and bad men, pretty girls and being stuck in toxic relationships, pretty girls and toxic. I'll figure it out. But the crux of it is that I'm going to be talking about why beautiful girls get stuck in these relationships with terrible men and why they often feel like they cannot leave. There are many celebrities I can use as examples. Kiki Palmer, I can use Nicki Minaj, Mihlalinde Mase, who else? Sky Jackson, Summer Walker, and so forth. Like, there are so many people I can list, guys, and this does not mean that I am attacking them. I'm not saying anything bad about them. I'm just pointing out the fact that this happens to beautiful women regularly, and they are just an example of what I'm going to be talking about today. And yes, I do consider myself a beautiful girl, but I don't know, like, it is a bit tricky when you do that. Okay, I'm just fixing. Oh god. And I do consider myself a pretty girl. Even though I'm not the most prettiest, I do know that I am beautiful, guys. And I have had experiences where I stayed in relationships longer than I should have because I just wanted to prove a point to everyone else and myself. And the main reason why we get stuck in these relationships is because of ego. Before I get into that, I just want to tell you a story. Like, it's a story that happened a long time ago. So I had this friend, and I remember one day we were having lunch at McDonald's or something. We were just, chilling, vibing at McDonald's, and I'm looking at her like, oh my gosh, like, you're so beautiful. It was like almost the first time I was seeing her, but I'm looking at her smile, teeth straight as a ruler, teeth white as snow, and she just radiates so much beauty. And I'm looking at her, and we're talking about boys. I'm like, no ways is it that a man is taking you through this and you look this good. And I know that the arguments could be that, oh yeah, she is toxic, maybe she is violent, she's crazy, all these things. I know that we could say that, but truly she is an amazing human being. We are not tight as before, but I can assure you she is still an amazing human being, and she goes to school, she went to work, she had everything going for her. But this man who was just, I feel like he was dragging her down. Like, she would call me a lot of times, like she would call me almost every day just to talk about what this man is putting her through. And as you know, it's in my head, I'm just like, girl, why don't you just leave? And I think that date with her, like being at McDonald's, we're just chilling and we're laughing and just looking at her, I was just like, girl, like, what the hell, like, what is all of this? Back to the ego part. Pretty, beautiful girls have a very big ego. And because of that, time and time again, they will fall for the bad guy. Or they will be love bombed, and then once they do recognize that, oh, actually I was love bombed, they don't want to leave the relationship. So the cycle goes like this. They meet a guy, things are great, things go bad, and then now they don't want to leave. But often it comes with signs, meaning that they would tell their friends about something, and the friend would be like, that would not work out in the long run, or you need to watch out, this doesn't look like a good sign. But they will stick it out. But they do not want to leave because leaving would be admission to the fact that they do not make smart decisions as per what the society says about them. This is especially evident when you are a person that is into nails, into makeup. So people typically label you as the bimbo, meaning that you do not know how to make your own decisions. If they are great decisions, it's most likely that the decisions were made by your parents or your mentors or so forth. But if you make your own decisions, then they're bound to fail because you are labeled as a stupid person. So society cannot take someone who has all of these great traits, like you're smart, you're funny, you're loving, you are nurturing, and you are pretty, you're beautiful, you take care of yourself. They cannot put that in one person and appreciate it as is. There has to be something faulty with you. And so when that happens, it translates into romantic relationships where when you have these long-term relationships and they don't work out, you still stay. And what becomes worse is that these beautiful girls end up building families with these men that they are warned against. Like, look at Nicki Minaj. I feel like she already knows that she is in this mess, and I feel like she has known about this a long time ago. However, because she's the type of person that wants to prove a point, she is less likely to leave. It is more important to her ego to stay in a relationship that is not fulfilling and is ruining her brand than to leave and admit that, look, I have made a mistake. Let me just try to fix my life. But instead, they would run their brand to the grave just to prove that they are smart, they're intelligent, and they know exactly what they're doing. It is better to get off the train when it is not going to a destination that is leading you anywhere. I'm going to put that quote up there because I think I'm saying it incorrectly. It is a famous Japanese proverb that says, if you find yourself on the wrong train, get off at the next station. It doesn't matter if you have to pay a high cost for a new ticket. It doesn't matter if you're embarrassed to have made a mistake. Every price you pay to fix the situation is worth not going the wrong way and starting to go the right way. But when you are in a situation that is bad for you, it is better to leave now than to leave later. You still have the time to save your brand, you still have the time to redeem your brand, to grow. So while you have the energy and the time, you might as well leave. You need not wait until your brand is run through the mud and then you have nothing for yourself. Imagine you build a brand for like 20 plus years and then a man comes into your life, next thing it is ruined just by your decisions. And even worse, some people stay and build families with these men. They marry them, they have babies with them just to prove that they are making the right decisions, and everyone else in society is just jealous, or they do not understand that there is a bigger plan. And sometimes there's no bigger plan. You are just with someone who does not appreciate you and someone who is not in line with the kind of person that you are. Like just yesterday, I was reading a story about how Sky Jackson's baby dad is in jail for several years. And it's it's true that yes, maybe you did not see the signs or so forth, but in this situation, she definitely saw the signs. He was someone who was not in line with her brand, was not a celebrity, did not have the money, did not have the image, or had a stable job, So this is why I'm just like, I really feel like people, when they go in this situation at first, they want to save the person, and then essentially it's like, this is someone that I want to be with long term because I want to prove to people that I am making great decisions. And same goes for Haley Bailey. I love these people, but their decisions are so terrible sometimes. And then when you call it out, it's like, no, you don't know these people. Love prevails, but love does not mean toxicity. At some point, you need to call out your favorite celebrities, especially when you are fan pages and so forth. They listen to you. In as much as we can say we are nobodies, these celebrities listen, and this is why they fall deeper and deeper in these terrible relationships. And if you want to know of a good redemption story or something that can motivate you, look at Sierra. Future is a bad guy. It is known. It's not something that is like, oh my gosh, 5 years down the line you find out that Future is, even in his music you can tell that no, this is a terrible guy. So she had a relationship with him, she had a kid with him, they were engaged, but by the time that he broke up with her, she was ready to go. She didn't hold on, she didn't beg him, she wasn't like, oh, but we have this child. And when you move with the mentality that your life is ruined because now you have a child with a bad man, then you sort of imprison yourself because you feel like you will never have better. But look at her. For years, she has been with an amazing man. She found a great man in Russell Wilson. And I think that it is imperative for us to look for our Russell Wilsons. And it's not always about whether it works out or not, but it's the fact that we need to sort of cultivate a culture of healthy relationships regardless of what happens in the end. So don't run wild and now ruin your life because you think that there's nothing better out there. But at the same time, if you have the time to get out, get out. There is no award for staying with a terrible man. Essentially, I'm saying that allow people to think that you made a dumb mistake and allow yourself to feel that way too about yourself. But making one stupid mistake does not mean that it will define the rest of your life. You define the rest of your life by making the choice to leave. So, all my pretty, beautiful women, what I want to say is that, like, leave. Leave. If it's not working, leave. You have nothing to prove. We are nobodies. At the end of the day, we don't know what you go through, or you're crying over someone, and most likely like you're crying over someone who's not even like handsome. You're crying over an ugly guy. And this is what I struggle with sometimes. Like, girl, look at yourself. Look at yourself. And I understand that being pretty does not always translate to having a high self-esteem, but you need to think for your future. You need to think for what you think your future family will look like and how your friends will feel like when they're around this person, how your family will feel like. So it is essential that you do that. They will be a reflection of you, and you need to be proud of that. When someone says, oh yeah, you're so much like Jack, you need to be like, yeah, that's my man. Like, oh, he's amazing, this and that. And not out of pretense, but out of you knowing that he is this great guy, this amazing guy, and you need to stand firm on your standards. Sometimes it is simply not your time to be in a relationship, and I think that it is important to always note that you don't have to be in a relationship to prove that you are pretty enough. It is very important for me to be in a fulfilling relationship or companionship than to be with just anyone for the sake of saying that, look, guys, I am finally proving that my beauty has finally gotten me a man. Sometimes it's not your time. So sometimes people just rush, and then like you rush into this building a family, having a marriage, and then the divorce is very hard, very stressful. So don't run or rush or force your hand, because only God knows when your time is your time. And always communicate with him so that you'll know that you are on the right path. Sometimes it's better to wait than to drive yourself into destruction. Yeah, I mean, that is all I want to say. I hope my friend does see this because I really do think I think that she has an amazing smile. I think that she's amazing. So wherever she is, I hope that she sees this, and I hope that the rest of the beautiful girls around the world, pretty girls, hot girls, fine girls, sexy girls, what did I miss? I hope that all beautiful girls know that they are worth more than a man who mistreats them, and they are not in they don't have to prove anything. And I see this a lot where beautiful women feel like they need to prove that, oh, they are great people, they're giving and whatnot. You don't have to prove that. Stay put until you find someone that is ready to be with you. Okay? Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, subscribe to my channel. And yeah, I will see you on the next video. Peace.